Amazon just announced the biggest layoffs in the company's history. Unfortunately, there's likely more to come. So let's get into what happened at Amazon on January 4th. Here I have pulled up a letter from CEO Andy Jassy updating employees as to what's going on. And I've highlighted the key part here is that between the reductions we made in November and the ones we're sharing today, we plan to eliminate just over 18,000 roles. That's the biggest layoffs the company has made in its history. And the company's been in growth mode ever since it started, and it's never really slowed down. So it's just been hiring and hiring and hiring and hiring. So it's a little surprising to finally see the company shedding some roles and kind of right sizing the business. Unfortunately, for the people that work at Amazon, there likely needs to be more cuts ahead, and I'll show you why right here. What I've highlighted here is from the company's most recent quarterly earnings report, earnings release, and what you see here is their full-time employees and employee growth I've highlighted, and this is going back to the second quarter of 2021, and they added from 1.33 million full-time employees to 1.544 million full-time employees in a little over a year here, in a little over 5 quarters, and they grew year over year 52% when they added 1.3 million. So they grew their employee in 1 year over 50%, and they already had a lot of employees, right? That took them to 1.33 million, and they kept growing until finally they're kind of slowing down here with just 5% year over year growth. But still, they've got 1.544 million employees. With this recent announcement of 18,000 layoffs, that's not going to make much of a dent here in the overall employees. However, in their operating income, it will make a bigger dent because these 18,000 jobs that they're laying off are from corporate headquarters mostly, so higher wage earning employees, not really the warehouse employees that are the bulk of this 1.5 million, where I feel there needs to be some layoff announcements as well because they're just carrying way too many employees for the fact that its business, its top line revenue growth is slowing, and that's causing its profitability to significantly decrease. As you could see here, if we look at its online stores segment up here, revenue growth was 13% in the second quarter of 2021, fell to just 3% in the third quarter. This is as economies started reopening, and then just 1% in the fourth quarter, and then negative 1% in the first quarter of 22, and then 0% in the second quarter of 22. Thankfully, it accelerated in the third quarter of 22, but still, you could see that growth in its business, in its uh, online sales business, e-commerce business is slowing considerably, and this is even magnified if you consider that inflation has been near double digits during this last 5 quarters. So if Amazon is not growing at least 8%, it's not even growing at the rate of inflation. And so that's been pressuring Amazon's operating income and operating profits. And it can partly explain why the stock is down. You know, it was down around 50% at one point a couple of days ago. So this slowing top line growth as well as accelerating cost basis, right? Accelerating employees, higher employees, coupled with lower top line growth is really pressuring its profits, and that's not something investors want to be a part of. Expenses continue rising, inflation is continuing to increase the cost for fulfillment for Amazon, and inflation is increasing employee wages, even though they've got one, even as they're increasing the employee headcount, you have to also consider that they've been giving a lot of raises to their employees, right? You recall earlier, maybe I want to say 2 or 3 quarters ago, when they were experiencing labor shortages, they were announcing big promotions. They had a national ad campaign trying to attract employees, offering $1,000 bonuses, college tuition, and all of that. So their employee costs are rising as well as the number of employees rising. And so that scared off a lot of investors, understandably, and that's why the stock is down so much. So, in my opinion, if Amazon wants to get its stock price back in the right upward direction, this announcement of 18,000 layoff is just the beginning. I think there's unfortunately going to be more layoff announcements ahead. And so if you're an investor, I would keep this in mind. This could be a catalyst that might lift the share price higher. And if Amazon doesn't do that, it might be the factor that keeps its share price low, because investors are expecting profits to stay muted until Amazon can get its cost structure under control, right? Because we know its revenues are going to be pressured in the near term as consumer spending has shifted to away from home channels. So this is something to keep an eye out for. Amazon investors should look out for, and this might only be the beginning for Amazon employees. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.